The God of War Ragnarok reviews are in, and the game is undeniably getting tons of praise, but not without people claiming that it's still just a PS4 game or that it doesn't look any better than the previous game. So I wanted to do a stream to basically tell the haters to be quiet. I am going to do my best to outline why much of the argumentation about next gen is not logical and not founded. We're going to look at basically the way game engines work and perform across a spectrum of performance, even on PC. We will be doing that right here at the beginning of the video. I will then obviously be having a debate and a lively discussion with the stream, so make sure you're here for those. Hit subscribe and the bell button, but I do put everything right here at the beginning so you don't have to go looking for it. This is a Reforge update. The God of War Ragnarok reviews are speaking for themselves with undeniable high praise for the game, and yet people are saying a lot of the same things, and some of the sideline hate continues. I wanted to shut some of that down and have a conversation about whether or not God of War Ragnarok is an actual next-gen game. If you like these quick uploads, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss them. Now, just to reiterate, this game is getting 10s, 5 out of 5s, it's getting 9.5s, it's getting 9s. It has like a 94 on Metacritic. We looked at Skill Up, we looked at Games Radar, we looked at Eurogamer. The only thing we were hearing was that some of the story felt either bloated or there was too much, or maybe they were saying that things were taking too long to get started, but there were no complaints about graphics, there were no complaints about performance or how the game ran and looked. The Digital Foundry videos are available right now. Be careful, one of them warns you about spoilers, but they were all saying that the game looked and ran phenomenally well, and I want to sort of analyze the general consensus versus what we're hearing from people and just how much ignorance there is out there about game engines and how games can be next gen while still running on weaker systems. So there is a clear graphical difference between this game and 2018 if you look at any of the side-by-side comparisons. The resolution, the lighting, just the movement of the characters has been significantly upgraded. There's also clear performance differences. No one has said a word about performance other than the fact that the game runs phenomenally well at the higher resolutions and higher frame rate. There's also an obvious size difference in the game with length of play, things to go and do, areas to visit, variety of enemies have all been increased. So at every level, this game has been bumped up to the next gen expectations that most of us have. However, I think there's just rampant ignorance about the way that game engines function. You can look at games right now that have next-gen features and plenty of great goods and goodies for you to experience on a high-end PC. But that game can also have its engine and functions optimized to run on a weaker system. You can turn a lot of those things off. The higher resolution can be toned way down to a lower resolution. You can turn off the lighting effects. You can turn off the texture detail. There's plenty of things you can do to a game to get it to run on a weaker PC. That doesn't suddenly make a game not next gen. And when you look at the side-by-side comparisons of God of War Ragnarok against God of War 2018, it's obvious they've added all those next-gen features. We have to keep in mind what next-gen promises we were given when the PlayStation 5 and the Series X were marketed. We were told higher resolution, better frame rate, better lighting, better load times, 3D audio and haptic feedback on the PS5. And God of War Ragnarok, they check all those boxes. Every single box has been checked by God of War Ragnarok. So what is this ideal next-gen game that people think that they're not getting? What they can't really quantify it. When you ask people to establish, like, what exactly are you looking for in the next-gen games that you feel like you're not getting, I typically get told, well, it just will be a game that won't land on old-gen consoles. Well, Gotham Knights didn't land on old-gen consoles, and there's nothing about that game that could be described as next-gen. My question for you is, where do you land on this? What are your thoughts on this big debate about next-gen versus truly next-gen? Ultimately, the reviews have spoken, and more gameplay comparisons and performance comparisons have been made, and it's clear, it's evidenced in the game's appearance and performance. This is truly a next-gen title, and I believe it will win awards, and the haters will just have to move on to something else to spew their ignorance about. As always, leave me a comment below, hit subscribe and the bell button. Check out Reforge Gaming, where I stream live, so I can see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We kind of got into this one a little bit in, we kind of got into this debate yesterday, and it was mainly we were focused on doing a review summary, a review rundown, and what I didn't want to do was leave the debate kind of hanging in the air. Like, I didn't want it to keep coming back. So I was like, no, we're going to do an episode about it, right? We're going to do an episode purely about the fact that this is a next-gen title. I don't know where the hate is coming from. I don't know how anybody can look at the footage that we've seen and try to claim that this is just another PS4 game when you compare it to what God of War 2018 looked like and how it ran on the PlayStation 4. God of War Ragnarok gameplay has plenty of more footage for you to see now. Whether you look at SkillUp's review, I think SkillUp's review is the best one to watch. There's virtually no spoilers at all. Some of the other videos have seemingly shown a little bit more than people were hoping or expecting. You know that this is just a remastered DLC, Lono Keck. Just kidding. I'm playing it day one. Guys, go through your morning ritual. It is Friday. That means we have a full day for you. We are going to have our very first Reforge rundown today. Gotham Knights will be discussed by myself and 30 Instill Gaming. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you guys supporting the show. Make sure you're on live chat. You don't want to be on top chat. And make sure you have smashed that like button. We need your likes. Fridays have been kind of weird for us. Sometimes our Fridays end up being really weak, and it used to be the strongest day of the week for us. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the shows this week and continue to enjoy what we give to you on Friday. Don't forget, members, tonight's another members-only stream with my wife. We'll be playing some games together. Good to see you in the chat feed. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Somebody says, I don't care about next gen. I care about good game stories. Happy Friday. What's good, Typhoon? Corey says, I don't mind you watching the game. I'm pointing out that not playing a game means you're missing a huge chunk of the gaming experience, and it's the most important chunk of the experience. Yeah, I saw Diaz commentary this morning in the chat basically saying that he feels God of War Ragnarok looks great, but it's doing things with gameplay that he doesn't like, so he's just going to end up watching it. I changed my name. I have no idea who you are because you changed your name. So what is what's the consensus there? What are they doing in the game that you don't like? Sorry, Discord. Oh man, was anybody trying to listen in Discord? I was in the wrong chat. I was in members chat. I guess I should have skipped the Elden Ring streams. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so Talika is quoting you here. There's no point in watching anyone play a game if you're not going to play the game yourself. Just say you aren't interested in the game and move on. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Why would you not want to play a game? Hang on. I don't understand. I'm not saying, I'm sorry, I phrased that incorrectly. Why would you not want to watch somebody play a game? Plenty of people like doing that, Corey, right? Like, I think your logic's a little weird on that, especially on YouTube. Like, that's tons of what people do on YouTube. They're like, oh, well, I would never play this game on my own, but I want to check it out and kind of see how it goes and what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of people do that. Left Control Gaming, thank you for doing a full membership. I need all paying members to do that. Use the upgrade command, ! Upgrade. Click the link and upgrade yourself to a full or VIP membership. We don't want anybody on base memberships anymore. That's designed for gifted members only. Good morning, Mr. Lucas. Eek, happy Friday. What's good, Jarrett's all? I haven't played God of War since on the PS2, and it was just okay for me back then. I plan to play it as it shows up at my house and see if it's worth the hype and the $200. Well, that's a long time to not play the game. If you aren't a gamer and you watch games that you don't want to play, that means like nobody here who watches Loney all the time is a gamer. Right, like you got to remember that. Like there's plenty of people out there that are like, man, I'm not going to play, but I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't play God of War, but I definitely will be watching you play. Thank you, Dan. I watch and enjoy loads of Elden Ring streams whilst having no intention of playing the game myself. Yeah, I mean, look at how many people, especially you got to consider how many people are going to watch me play God of War Ragnarok and they're not going to play themselves. Like, I appreciate those people very, very much. Like, they're literally going to help my stream and channel do well during the biggest game launch of 2022. Probably second only to Elden Ring. It's the second largest launch of the year. I'll never play a FromSoft game, but I loved watching Lono play all 3 that he finished, says YouTube Lurker. I've said it before, says Phil. Anyone who doesn't have a valid critique about God of War Ragnarok is a bitter troll, or they don't have a PS4 or PS5, and they're just an Xbox fanboy. The game is a masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know what anybody could say about the game. The only people who have criticisms are people who have actually played it, and the criticisms that were outlined by, Eurogamer and Games Radar, I thought they were pretty inconsistent. I also felt like they weren't particularly strong either. I didn't feel like I was reading something that was, like, thoughtful or thought out. It felt more like a personal quibble. Like, the one guy was like, yeah, it's just too slow. Oh, you were Evan Frawley. Lono, I changed it to this. I would play if I had the means to, but since I can't afford the system, I'll have to watch. Yeah, plenty of people don't even have the system yet, but they want to see what happens, right? They know they're probably going to end up with a dadgum spoiler at some point. That makes you a viewer, not a player. A viewer watches, a player plays. I don't understand the controversy of pointing out the obvious. I don't understand the point of being negative and pedantic about something that no one gives a frick about. Like, who cares about your definition of what a gamer versus a player is? Did anybody ask for that? Like, somebody can be a gamer and somebody can be a very, very excited fan of something and not play themselves. You can be a football player and still watch football and not play in the game yourself. You can be a baseball player who's retired and you still love watching baseball. You're still a baseball player in your heart of hearts. Like, it doesn't make sense to draw that line in the sand and tell somebody, well, you're not really a gamer or a player. Who is trying to hold that membership card anyway? What card are you trying to take away from somebody? Plenty of people love watching people play video games on YouTube or the other platform and never touch the game themselves. Like, I don't understand. This discussion doesn't seem in line with the topic. Yeah, it doesn't seem in line with what we're talking about. Like, somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to watch instead of play. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I think a lot of people like doing that. And this is one of the reasons why I'm curious why so many people are sort of hating on Ragnarok. It's like, so you're actively going, like, think about what people are doing. They're actively going to a God of War Ragnarok review, or they're looking at the latest God of War Ragnarok gameplay, and they're like, oh, it just doesn't look very good. I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. You're actively going to content about a particular game to down-talk the game and talk about it like it's not good. I don't know if I've ever done that in my entire life. Now, obviously, I've gone through disappointment and then been critical of something, but then I kind of leave it at that. Like, we've not talked about Gotham Knights for weeks, right? We're going to be talking about it today with 30 and Stowe Gaming. Why? I said what I had to say and I moved on. I didn't start going into streams, reviews, gameplay breakdowns of that game to make sure everybody know, oh, I want to make sure everybody knows that this game sucks. Like, this game's bad. Just checking, am I hidden on this channel? You are not hidden, Mono Stain. Good to see you. As I've gotten older, I'm a much more casual gamer, and I prefer just watching content creators, to be honest, says Narwaffle. Are there any folks about when it comes to PC? I really want to play it. Yeah, a lot of people are bummed that they have to wait such a long time. Evidently, Corey thinks that anytime an actor sits down to watch a movie, they cease being an actor. Yeah, I don't understand. It just... I don't get it. Like, Diaz came in this morning and was like, I'm actually more curious if Diaz is still here. I want to know what God of War Ragnarok is doing that he's like, yeah, I don't want to play that game, but I think it looks great. I'll watch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Such a nice setup you have. Really loving it. Thank you. If you've never been here before, welcome on into Reforge Gaming. I am a safe for work broadcaster. That means I don't swear on the broadcast. A lot of people throw me on in the background of their day like a podcast or a radio show. If you're old enough to know what a radio show is, remember, do me a favor and smash the like button. Well over 400 people here. The topic of discussion this morning is the God of War Ragnarok reviews are undeniable, and yet people are still hating on the game, saying it just looks like a PS4 game, doesn't look good enough, different enough, etc. I'm not being negative, I'm pointing out the obvious. It's not taking away from anyone, it's just simple. Viewers watch, gamers and players play. But you're creating a false dichotomy. There are gamers and players who play and watch. There are gamers and players who play and might not play a particular game, but they want to see it. Like, pointing out the obvious, what's the point of pointing out the obvious? Hey, I just want you to know that you're not a gamer or a player. Oh, what? Like, with respect, I know people hate this on the internet, but who asked you? Who asked? Like, you know what I mean? It might be considered a spoiler, and I did not want to get specific. Okay, well then, yeah, don't say that. So so you're going to avoid the entire game because of something they did with the story? Am I understanding what you're saying? Without going into detail, you're not going to play God of War Ragnarok because you heard something that they're doing with the story. So you've had something spoiled for you, obviously, and you knowing that, you're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to play the game now. I have no games to play. What am I supposed to do? My preferred box is just bone dry with games. It's just so black and white of a statement. Yeah, just like I said, it feels like a false dichotomy. The performance has been widely praised, says John Always. Does that change how we should evaluate future games? Kat says smash the like button. Yeah, Kat's not happy with the like button, guys. You got to make sure Kat is happy. She'll come after you. So make sure and smash the like button. We need 200 likes. There are experts on football who have never played the game, too. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could make sure and tell them they're not football players. Hey, you. Yeah, what's up? I know you commentate on football every week, but you're not a football player. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me that. Like, what? I usually don't like watching new games on streams to avoid spoilers, but if it's a game for a system I can't play, I will watch a stream, says Hex. I won't watch a stream unless I'm further in the game than the person that I'm watching. Right, we're well anticipating a lot of people avoiding our God of War Ragnarok gameplay streams because they're not going to want spoilers. I bet Corey turns off Loney's stream anytime Loney is playing. I love how you consistently call me Loney. You're such a jerk. Like, you consistently type Loney. You never refer to me as Lono. You're such a jerk. So he can maintain his gamer status. Yeah, he turns my gameplay streams off every time. He's like, I can't watch. I can't watch. I gotta maintain. I gotta stay a gamer. I gotta stay a gamer, bro. It's Lono. Yeah. That's my brother in real life, and he's just being a jerk. He's just being an older brother. Show some respect. That's right. Put some respect on my name when you say it. For anyone saying they don't have a PS5 to play, I was howling laughing this morning. I retweeted it. Doc playing Call of Duty with Timmy and Lupo, and they're like, buy the car, buy the truck. I was crying. It's such a funny video. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on any of the other social platforms at Reforge TV. Really, really easy way to enjoy all of my content. Little brother syndrome at its finest. Wait, I have little brother syndrome? Are you kidding me? Bro, if it bothers you, I'll type Lono. I thought it was just kind of a running gag. It's funny when you do it in context, but every time you type, you call me Loney. I'm concerned that new people would be like, are we supposed to frickin' call this guy Loney? Like, that's my concern, is like, new people are gonna come in like, oh, this guy's name is Loney. Oh, okay. Like, they're not gonna know it's a gag and a joke from the time that I accidentally referred to myself as Loney. You know what I'm saying? All little brothers have it. I do not have little brother syndrome. What the frick? He consistently calls me Loney. Can you imagine being a new person and coming in here and they hear me read his sentence and as Loney and oh, this guy's name is Loney. You're gonna get me called Loney. Like in a year from now, everybody will be coming in like, what's good, Loney? I'm like, that's not my friggin' name. Loney is the loneliest number. that you'll ever see. I'll be ahead. So I regretted that as soon as I started that. As soon as I started that bit, like 1 is the loneliest number, and I tried to do it with Loney, I got 3 words in, and I was like, oh no, I wish I've got to keep going. I had to say, I just shut the stream down. We're done. Boo-hoo, people call you by the wrong name, no sympathy. Oh, talk about little brother syndrome. Eugene's like, oh, somebody calls you by the wrong name. Yeah, I don't know what that's like. Yeah, apparently I was supposed to call him Axe a really long time ago. Axe of Eugene. Yeah, I was supposed to call him Axe. You know, let me ask you a question, Axe. Loney, tell me your opinion on this right now. I'm being offended by your ignorance. No, I don't recognize your name. I feel like you're being disruptive. It doesn't feel like you're in here to have a good time. It feels like you're in here to be, you know, attention getting or something. Well, the channel, is this the new channel gag? Seen channels who wish streamer happy birthday every day, so yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, I see people do that to Vio all the time. They're always wishing her happy birthday, Vio. Hey, guys. Make sure and wish Vio a happy birthday if she sees this. I hope it's a great one. I think you're having another one tomorrow too. So, I hope that's a great birthday as well, Vio. Never mind, you people are missing the point. No one said stop being a gamer altogether. I said you're not a gamer as in you're not a player for that game. It's so obvious. So, you felt the need to inform somebody who said they weren't going to be playing the game that, get this, they're not a player of that game. Like, you felt the need to tell him that. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. You're not playing that game. I know, I just said that I'm not playing the game. I don't understand. Huh? Rissick with 15 months, and it's a VIP membership. Let's get another milestone down. That's right. Like, Diaz came into the chat and was like, I'm not going to be playing Ragnarok. I'm just going to watch. And you took it upon yourself to tell him that he wasn't a player of the game after he just got done saying that he would not be playing the game. Like, I don't understand. By that definition, none of us are gamers in my book. Oh my moly. I'm going to go play God of War on my buddies since I can't find a PS5 and milk my own. You know what's funny? When I played the original Last of Us, I borrowed my brother's PlayStation 3. Is that where Wait, what did I play that on? What did I play The Last of Us on? What did I borrow from you? Was it a PlayStation 3? Yo, James Carr with a $5 tip. Listen, paying members, I'm typing exclamation point upgrade in the chat. If you're a paying member, I need you to click the link that Nightbot has in chat and make sure you're on a base membership or a VIP membership. If you're just tuning in, we're covering God of War Ragnarok reviews. I think they're undeniable. I'm telling the haters to be quiet. The going theme that I've seen, I have people in my comments saying that the game doesn't look next gen. I had people saying yesterday looks just like a PS4 game, doesn't look any better, doesn't look any different, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they're looking at. I truly don't. I don't know if everybody saying that has Vaseline on their screen, or maybe they need a new pair of glasses, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they're watching on a CRT television. You know, they still have one that works from the 1980s, but I don't get what they're looking at. Yo, Tom Grant just got a gifted membership from Narwaffle. Anybody who gets a gifted membership, you can upgrade that to a full membership for $1. For $1. I can't stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. There's like 900 of you that are still on base memberships. You don't want to be on base memberships once we get into December. I hate that I have to keep disrupting the show to bring it up, but I really want to make sure you guys know you don't want to stay on the $5 membership. You want to be on a $6 membership going into December. And don't forget, tonight's a members only stream with my wife, and tomorrow night is the watch party of Star Wars. Remember the 5th of November. Tomorrow we're doing that on a Saturday night, so make sure you got your membership up to date. So there's an interview with Bruno Velasquez, animation director, who says they set out to make the best PS4 game with PS5 version enhancements. but with the addition, what constitutes a true PS5 title? Thank you, Astrid, for doing a full member. Okay, here's the thing about that interview, Kage Williams, because everybody's taking that guy's comments and creating false headlines. They're creating false headlines. There are people that literally took his comments about what they set out to do. He talked about how they wanted to be one of the best performing PS4 games they ever ran. And you know what people ran with? Headlines of, developer on God of War Ragnarok admits that the PS4 held the game back. And it was like, that's not what he said. It's like people are so desperate to run with that narrative. They took his comments completely out of context and tried to claim that, oh yeah, there were things we wish we could have done that we couldn't do. He never said that. He never gave an inkling of a hint of that. And yet there were articles out there running with that headline. Surprise, surprise, gaming journalism isn't exactly honest and dripping with integrity. He was talking about how they wanted it to be the best PS4 game they had ever built. That doesn't mean that it's not next gen. That doesn't mean it's not going to have next gen features. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you, Adnor, for an entire year of support, and that's a full membership. Thank you so much. Your badge will turn gold next year. Listen. It would be like somebody saying, we wanted to make sure that this was the best looking game on the 1080 graphics card possible, right? That doesn't mean that it isn't a next-gen game with next-gen features. It just shows people's ignorance. They don't understand how game engines work. You could design a game right now and do everything you could to make it run and look wonderful on a 1080 graphics card. And guess what? You could also make that a next-gen game. But people don't think that way because they're tribalistic, they think in dichotomous ways, and they're ignorant. They don't understand how games are made. So a game company could literally say, we set out to make sure our game ran beautifully. It was the best-looking game on a 1080 graphics card possible. Oh yeah, we also did all these next-gen things for it. It's got ray tracing, 4K, it's got beautiful frames per second performance. It looks and runs marvelously on these higher-end systems. That's a next-gen game. People have created this strange version of next gen that is, well, it's only next gen if it's only on next gen platforms. And it's like, you've apparently never looked at anything with respect to game development or how games work on PC. You don't know anything. You don't know. You're not even remotely informed in how games are developed, how features are added, and how a spectrum of performance doesn't mean that it doesn't hit these high levels of next-gen things that everybody was looking for. Having watched the game doesn't give me the authority to speak on the core of the game because the core of the game is playing it, but I'll move on. I would appreciate it if you would, yeah, because water is, I'm not saying that starts dumb debates with dumb people. The sky is blue and rain makes the ground wet. Like, we're just saying things that I don't understand. No one's debating with you anymore on such a blatantly obvious point. That's a sensible way to make a game work from the bottom up. Otherwise, you end up with a train wreck like Cyberpunk 2077. Don't see a debate happening if your views are so rigid on the topic. My views are rigid? What do you mean? What do you mean? Did I make it really hard for you to make a point? I don't know if necessarily, that doesn't mean there can't be a debate. It just means maybe I did a good job outlining my position. I don't know what you mean. Like, if you're going to look at video games and you're going to create this very narrow definition and say, oh yeah, this is next gen. Okay, but that's not how anybody else defines it. Nobody defines next gen as, not only does it need next gen features, it better not run on a weaker system. What? That's not that's not the definition of next gen though. Oh, it can't run on old systems. But why? Gotham Knights doesn't run on old systems. Is anybody going to claim that game is the paragon of next gen gaming? 30-hour campaign seems short. but I need a break from Elden Ring. A 30-hour campaign seems short compared to what? What do you, huh? What games are you playing? Elden Ring is such an unfair comparison. It's an open world game. Open world games take way longer to complete. Well, I don't know about Horizon Forbidden West. What was Horizon Forbidden West campaign completion? You also have to remember something. Elden Ring doesn't have a campaign, really. You know what I'm saying? Take some nebulous open world game with hidden lore and hidden pieces. Like, you can't make a comparison there. Like, single player story driven games hitting 30 hours for the campaign, that's really long. That's really long. The one reviewer even said he felt like the story was too long. You know what I mean? A $10 tip from Risick. Do people realize this game was supposed to come out for the PS4 first, and then they announced the PS5? They held it back to make it for the PS5. That none of what you just said is true. No, that's not. No, it wasn't. No, none of that's true, Risick. It wasn't originally supposed to come out for the PS4. This was planned as a cross-generationally supported game. What are you talking about? They were designing and building the game, and then when the God of War 2018 got its free 4K checkerboard 60 FPS upgrade on the PS5, that was them experimenting with the engine and how far they could push it and things that they could do with the power of the PS5. This was never planned to be like a PS4 only game. That's not true. They knew the timeline of the PS5's launch was going to find its, like, this was going to land within that. I think I'm on topic. Almost any game with a system for changing graphic settings of any kind of breadth and depth will mean it can be played on older hardware. See all the PC market for decades. That's exactly right. So I just don't understand why we're looking at the PS4 and being like, oh, it runs on the PS4. That's an indictment. I'll give you a completely separate game. God of War Ragnarok isn't the only game doing this. Callisto Protocol is going to be on multiple games. I look at that game and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks next gen. It looks phenomenal. Anybody looking at that game, I don't understand. Oh, it's going to run on all gen consoles, so it's not next gen. Can we get more likes on the video? Lazaro just tipped $2 and says, let's get the likes up. We do. We need 35 likes, chat. We need 35 more. Let's hit 300. Welcome on in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Reforge Gaming. We are discussing God of War Ragnarok reviews. Still getting comments, still seeing hate, still seeing headlines. Oh, it's a PS4 game, not a next-gen game. It looks just like God of War 2018. What? Yeah, maybe if I watch the trailers like this, like peeking through. I just don't get it, guys. I already see a difference. It just looks exactly like 2018. Like, what the, Gamers can't have it both ways. We want mid-gen upgrades and easier transitions to new technology. Well, that means we won't have these hardline demarcations between generations. Right, like, you know what would happen? You know what would be really, really funny? Is if they would have made God of War Ragnarok PS5 only and launched it in this time frame, do you know what people would have said? They would have said, greedy Sony holding the game hostage on PS5, making people buy PS5s just to enjoy the God of War sequel, greedy Sony. That's what people would be saying. Like, everybody that converts from the old-gen console to the new-gen console appreciates when there's cross-generational support during those years, because especially right now, Callisto is not next-gen. Modern Warfare 2 is not next-gen, but Gotham Knights is. Yeah, according to the logic, T-Grim, exactly. Modern Warfare 2, Callisto Protocol, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, none of these games are next-gen, but Gotham Knights is next-gen, because it's not on old-gen systems. The PS4 version is amazing. For the new gen, it runs faster and smoother. Good move, Sony. Please, people need to change. What are you talking about? I kind of feel like this guy needs to be banned. I wish I could click on his name and see all of his comments. I feel like he's been in here just saying things completely off subject. Am I the only one that doesn't have member? I don't know. Everybody with a membership needs to check their membership status. You don't want to be on the $5 membership anymore. I need you all on the $6 membership or the $9.99 because we are making changes in December. I don't have a dividing line between gifted members and paying members, and that will help me do that. There's no concrete definition of what is next gen. Okay, Venator or Venator. Is it Venator or Venator? I'm going to go with Venator. I think that's the right one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say your name correctly. So, here's the thing. Next gen, as a phrase, is something that is difficult to define. You think it's Venator? Like senator? Oh, Venator like senator. That's what Sven thinks. All right, Venator. So here's the thing. He says, yeah, it's Venatir. Oh, Venatir. Oh, golly. All right, anyway. When people throw around the term next gen, it does need to be defined just about every time because you don't know what somebody's necessarily indicating or saying. However, if we really just dig down and look at all of the things that we were promised on next-gen consoles, I don't think it's that difficult to have an approximation of what the term means. When we were promised next-gen, we were promised higher resolution, better frame rates, better load times, better lighting, better textures. Like the games were going to look better, run faster, all those things. You understand? Oh, you mean like Senator. Oh, okay. So, if that's the case, when a game is doing those things, it's performing and doing things and showing things that were not possible on the previous generation. A higher resolution 60 frames per second game with instantaneous load times or very fast load times was not possible on old gen. That makes it de facto a next gen game. It's automatically a next-gen game when it's doing things the old gen couldn't do. 4K, 30 FPS with ray tracing, next-gen. It's next-gen game. 120 hertz mode, 1440 resolution, 60 frames per second, that's next-gen. You can't do that on the old gen. Better lighting, better textures, 5 to 6 second load times or instantaneous load times, next-gen. 3D audio, next-gen. Haptic feedback, next gen. None of these things were possible on the previous generation. That makes it a next gen game. We don't need some grounded concrete definition. We just need people to stop being dishonest, ultimately. Better lighting, better textures, Papa John's. Better lighting, better textures, PS5. Yeah, that's what we need. All current gen. You're reaching. You're teaching, in my opinion, but that's the beauty of opinions. Wait, am I teaching or am I reaching? Which is it, Captain Crunch? Only game design is next gen. Better frame rates and resolution means nothing if it has to run on 2013 hardware. Okay, but no. Nothing is hitting the better resolution, frame rates, and lighting on the old gen hardware. It's hitting it only on the new hardware. Like, what are you saying? You're not getting those features on the old gen. Cross-gen isn't next-gen, in my opinion. Yes, that opinion is not substantiated by fact. It's not substantiated by technological trends in the industry. The opinion that cross-gen means it's not next-gen, that opinion is rooted in ignorance about how games are developed and how game engines work. It's such a weak position. It's just in tatters on the ground. You've either never played a PC game or you've never looked at the range of PC performance. You literally don't know what you're talking about. You're saying something that isn't rooted in reality. It's not backed by facts. It's not backed by research. It's not backed by what the market does. There is not some pure break where, now nothing works on these old systems. Nothing works on this old hardware. Now all this stuff is truly next gen. Throwing out the ignorance tag, nice bro. I mean, because you are. you're ignorant. You don't have the information about games and their performance on hardware spectrum on computers. If you had that information, you wouldn't say what you're saying because it's an ignorant position. It's an ignorant position. It's not rooted in what games do. It's rooted in some weird made-up ideology. Returnal is next gen? Yeah, apparently Gotham Knights is next gen, but Modern Warfare 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok, they're not next gen, but Gotham Knights is. That's your opinion? No, it's not. It's not opinion. It's objective fact of how games are developed. You're just ignoring it because it's contrary to your opinion. Tommy Humphreys with 13 months of membership. 60 FPS 4K checkerboard option leads me to conclude the game is a significant upgrade. God of War Ragnarok 60 FPS is 1440 because of next-gen features. Yes, because they weren't just baking in an upgrade. That's exactly right. Seriously, think about this for a second, Captain Crunch. Think about this for a second. When a game launches right now on PC, right? I'll see myself out then. Cross-gen sucks. Okay. Unsubstantiated opinion. And I'm going to show you why it's an unsubstantiated opinion. You can leave, but that's not going to change what's happening. You right now can look at PC games that launch, and they will launch with 4K, ray tracing, instantaneous load time, really great textures, all these amazing next-gen features, all these things that we were promised. Oh man, 4K, oh, ray tracing, oh, look at this, look at that, 4K 60 with ray tracing, look how beautiful this game is, right? Now, if you look at that game and you're playing it, analyzing it, you're watching a Digital Foundry breakdown video, and you find out that the engine has been optimized to turn off ray tracing, turn down the resolution, turn the textures down to medium or low, and it can run on old hardware, you wouldn't suddenly deduce and say, this is no longer a next-gen game. That's not how you come to logical conclusions. That's you bringing a predetermined position to the scenario and forcing it on it. You're like, oh, no. If something is cross-gen, it's not next-gen anymore. Okay, but that's not evidence-based. That's not facts-based. That's not based on research. That's just your opinion coming to bear on the situation. So a developer can add all those things. 4K resolution, ray tracing, phenomenal looking game. It performs beautifully and it looks amazing on like a 3090 graphics card. But this guy over here with a 1080 graphics card, he can play it if he turns off all the next gen features. Yep, it's not next gen because an old system can play it. What? That's not what determines next gen. You've created your own definition to justify being a hater, essentially is what you've done. You've created this safe little Alamo position to be like, facts and evidence can't touch what I think. That's not next gen if it's cross-generationally supported. Well, there's nothing in game development in the market. There's nothing in the technology of engines and how adaptable and agile they are. None of that supports your position. Your position's standing on nothing other than a self-made ideology. It's not rooted in facts. Like, talk to any developer about their game engines and how they work, and they would laugh at the people that are saying this. They're like, that's not how it works. Well, if it works cross-gen, it's not next-gen. What? What are you talking about? Basically, if a PC game doesn't have a minimum spec of a 4090, then clearly it's trash. Yeah, if a PC game comes out with 4K ray tracing and all these amazing features that we were promised with next gen, it's not next gen if it runs on anything below a 3090. It's not next gen. Do you see the problem with defining next gen in that way? It doesn't line up with reality. I mean, Gotham Knights is a lot of fun. I'm having a blast until Ragnarok comes out. Right, but nobody with even a shred of credibility or understanding of technology and video games would say that Gotham Knights is a representation of next gen. But apparently, according to the weird made-up definition that I'm getting in chat, he's not the first person to say this, by the way, so I'm not wailing on him. He's like the 10th person to say this to me. If it's cross-generationally supported, it's not next gen. Okay. well, something's only next gen if it's only on next gen. Okay, well, congratulations. You Gotham Knights is next gen, but Ragnarok is not. Like, literally just put clown makeup on and start a YouTube channel that says, I have clown takes for you. You ready for this? And show gameplay of Ragnarok, and then show gameplay of Gotham Knights, and be like, clearly Gotham Knights is the next gen title because it's not playable on old gen systems. Just put the clown makeup on and just start making videos, because that's exactly what that position is. It's just clown. It's not legitimate. I got no respect for it, and I am being kind of harsh because I'm tired of it. It's just like you're saying something that's not substantiated. It's not accurate. Elden Ring's a 95, Ragnarok's a 94. Oh, on Metacritic, did Elden Ring maintain a 95 on Metacritic? The only way he would be right is if it was literally a PS4 game. No PS5 version and the hardware ran it better. But last I checked, there's a PS5 version. There's a PS5 version of the game with next-gen features. That makes it a next-gen game. There are things that the game will do on... Oh, OpenCritic, thank you. Oh, OpenCritic's a 95 versus a 94. Okay, thank you. About the medium... The game? What about it? Thanks for giving me an idea for a YouTube channel. It's on PS4, so it doesn't make it any it's next gen. Anyone still saying next gen needs to stop. Dumbest thing ever. I'm not sure what you're saying, King Trout. Are you agreeing with me or disagreeing with me? By definition, is Plague Tale Requiem not a next gen game because it fulfills all the requirements except hitting 60 FPS? Is it not a next-gen game? I mean, I am going to say that if a game comes out and it does 4K ray tracing and it's 30 FPS, I would say, yeah, that's a next-gen game. Those were next-gen features that were promised to us. But if it runs as poorly as Plague Tale Requiem runs, then I'm going to say that's a pretty crappy next-gen game. Like, look at Digital Foundry's breakdown of how poorly Plague Tale Requiem runs. I don't give a frick if you're hitting 4K ray tracing if your game runs like a car with bad alignment and, like, flat tires. Like, it's like skipping when you turn. Like, who wants to play that game? It's a beautiful game, but I'm saying, who wants to play a game that's running that poorly? It's irritating. It's like, it feels like something's wrong. I agree with your side of the next-gen argument. You need to make a short on it. I've tried. This dude is one of those argumentative mother effers. Oh, I've only begun to show you how I'm an argumentative mother effer. Welcome to the show. I would take another game like Ragnarok in 2026 cross-gen. Met people like him in my life, and they're never wrong. Tell me that all of your friends and the people around you are smarter than you without telling me all the people around you are smarter than you. Requiem is a poorly optimized next-gen title. It's still a next-gen title, though. Yeah, like, there are going to be plenty of games that try to do that. They're going to try to do 4K. They're going to try to do ray tracing. It's just not going to run well. What's the lottery winning number tonight, since you know everything? There's a difference between being really, really good at debating and argumentation and building a brand around that and predicting the future. Do you see? Like I said, are all the people around you smarter than you? Like, you just confused predicting the future with being intelligent. I don't, those things are not one and the same. Go into a speech and debate class. Yeah, professor, with all your doctorates and all your smarts, tell me what the winning lottery numbers are. So there, smart man. That's not the same. Being intelligent and being able to debate well has nothing to do with predicting the future. Like, the frick? Here's an idea. You don't remember in 4 years if a game had 4K. You remember for the gameplay and the story. Well, now, hang on a second, Cohen. Hang on a second. I actually think graphical improvements and bumps, okay, I actually think those will be memorable moments. Now, we're not going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, do you remember the trinkling little tinkling waters particle? Like, no, I don't think so. But I do think people will remember those generational shifts when games, I think we'll look back and remember these times like, oh my gosh. I remember the first time I played a 3D game on a console. I remember playing GoldenEye and it blowing my mind. I think those moments are memorable. I do think we look back. I think, to your point, gameplay's more long-lasting on our memory. I think that's correct to say. Hang on, what did he say? It's not next gen if it can run on an effing PS4. Brian, I've already demolished that position, and it just shows that you're ignorant about how games are developed. Because it can run on a weaker system doesn't mean it's not next gen. Here we go. If it were truly next gen, you couldn't just turn off some effing switch and run it on a PS4. Right there is glaring ignorance about games, their engines, and how they're developed. You just don't know what you're talking about. Do you think that when they develop a game for PC and they do all these amazing things with the engine and they make it look photorealistic and there's amazing lighting and textures, and then they let you turn all those things off, you're like, that's not next gen? Actually, quite to the contrary, the ability to build a game and an engine with an agility and an adaptability for optimization to lower performing systems is actually quite next gen because it shows the quality and the elasticity of the game. You're acting like they should be these brain-dead Neanderthal developers that are like, just keep putting good stuff in there. We don't want it to run good on the old systems because that's the hallmark of a next-gen game. Look at what Cyberpunk did. That's the goal. You want it to run like garbage on an old system. You want it to barely be able to function. No, that's not how games are developed. You don't understand how engines work. So you think every time we have a generational shift, all these game companies abandon their engines and build brand new engines with brand new lighting rules and texture applications and all of the things that make the game run, they rebuild all of it so that it can't run on the old systems. You don't understand game development. You don't understand how games work. As an example, the Unreal Engine, they've upgraded Fortnite to Unreal 5, okay? But think about this for a second. I'm genuinely trying to help you understand the things that you don't know are why you're formulating this position, because you just don't know certain things. You just don't understand the situation. They went back in Fortnite, in the Unreal Engine, and they were able to optimize and turn a bunch of things off so that you could get 60 FPS on an Xbox One. Like, I'm talking the old system, bro. Old, okay? The Xbox One. They were able to go into the engine itself and optimize it. Now, do you want to know what else they can do with the Unreal Engine? They can add a bunch of amazing next-gen features. And then they could say, hey, if we allow people to turn all these features off, this game in the Unreal Engine will run on, here's our minimum spec requirements. Like, look at any PC game that comes out and they have those minimum spec requirements. When a game can run on a weaker system, it doesn't invalidate that they built a next-gen game. Other than what you said about PC, nothing is next-gen. FPC gaming, I wasn't talking about that. And now you've landed the ignorant, I don't know what I'm talking about plane. You've just landed it for us. FPC gaming, I wasn't talking about that. Homie, it's the same spectrum of performance. It's the same engines. Bro, like, do you see what I'm saying? You just displayed for everybody here why your position is unfounded and rooted in ignorance. The engines that they use to build these games run and operate on PCs. They use these engines to build PC games. Like I said, the people that hold this position, you just aren't educated about video games, their development, how engines operate, how games can be optimized, and how it's more of an ideological position than an educated one. It's not an educated position. It's an ideological position. I got him going. Mission accomplished. It's always my favorite when somebody just miserably loses the debate that they're going to take a swipe at me or act like I just came in here to get you riled up and going. Like, joke's on you, bro. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. You're in my show. Like, you're not doing anything that isn't allowed. Every word you utter in my chat is happening because I'm letting you do it. Seriously, FPC Gaming, I don't have 2,000 for something to run a video game on 500 is bad enough. Oh my golly. Luke Spray with a 10 spot. It's like comparing a game running on a 980 to a 3080. COD Modern Warfare 2 is a good way of showing this. It looks all right on last gen, then you run it on max settings on a PC and it looks photorealistic. That's, oh my gosh, that's the point, Luke. It's like they don't see it. It's like they don't know. They're not educated. They don't know how games work. And they think if it runs on old gen, it simply cannot be next gen. It's like, what are you talking about? That's not the determination of next gen. That isn't. That's some self-made definition. For my money, as far as consoles are concerned, there have been no next-gen releases. There's been no next-gen releases. None. Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Demon's Souls Remake, Last of Us 1 Remake, Horizon Forbidden West, Forza. None of these are next-gen titles. What did I tell you guys the other day? I said, there is going to be a sector of the gaming community, and they're going to be miserable and sad this entire generation. Because they're staring like this, and I don't see the phone. There's no phone, bro. There's no phone here. It's like you're staring next-gen games in the face, and you're like, yeah, there's no next-gen games, bro. No next-gen games. Yeah, not impressed. Ratchet and Clank could have been done on a PS3. I've had a lot of people come in here and say ignorant things over the years, and you're clocking in like the record. Just the record. Ratchet and Clank could have been done on a PS3, chat. I'm just curious, which body pillow do you have? Is it Phil Spencer or Master Chief? Like, which one do you sleep with at night? Maybe both. Never go full, chat. Never go full. Jiminy frickin' Christmas. I said at the beginning of this discussion with him, I said, what you're saying is ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. And you've done nothing but grant me crystal clear evidence that what I said is correct. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just ignorant. It's like IBID, Your Honor. IBID. Like exhibit number 7. Never go full except unless it's a Reforge membership. Seriously, if you have a membership right now, I need you to check your membership. Make sure you're on a full or VIP. I need you to upgrade for $1. You can't stay at the base membership. Doom looks better than all that, for crying out loud. Listen, man. Listen. I can't help you. I can't. I don't think you're going to enjoy my show. I don't think you're going to enjoy what I do. Because what I don't do is I don't entertain ignorant ideology. I don't. I shred it as best I can. And I've done my best over the years to not do it in a way that's unkind, but also visceral and entertaining. So I just don't think you're going to enjoy my show. I don't. Because if you think there's been no next-gen games and you think Doom looks better than anything that's come out and, you know, I'm laughing, no need to get emotional. Well, that's projection. I'm not getting emotional. You've not seen emotional. Homie, you haven't seen anything. Like, if you think you succeeded in getting me emotional, you really are new here. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks better than all that. Yeah. Okay. Where's the next gen? Like I said, I can't help you. I can't help you because next gen was defined by higher resolution, better lighting, better frame rates, better performance, and we're getting all those things. And you're saying, I don't see it. So I can't help you. You're walking around with a blindfold on telling people that the lights are off. Narwaffle gifted a membership and it goes to Jeff Warner. Thanks for doing that, Narwaffle. Lykios upgrade to full membership. Luke Spray just hit a VIP membership. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much jumping in as a VIP with the very first time you've ever done a membership. I appreciate that very, very much, Luke. Just block. Listen, you guys have to understand something. Are we getting all that? 60 FPS? Yeah, have you not played any of the games that you're besmirching? Have you not touched any of them? Plague Tale was 30? Yeah, and I just shredded Plague Tale a moment ago. I haven't listed Plague Tale as a next-gen title. Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls Remake, Horizon Forbidden West, Last of Us Remake, Forza. These are all next-gen titles hitting high levels of graphical fidelity in 60 FPS. Gotham Knights and Plague Tale 30 FPS. Yes, Brian, hang out for more than 5 minutes. Homie, I eviscerated both of those games. Both Plague Tale and Gotham Knights, I eviscerated those games. Those games are a joke. Do you know what those games had everybody saying? Oh, these consoles aren't strong enough. And then Modern Warfare 2 walked on the battlefield and said, here's a next-gen title with amazing graphics, 120 FPS mode. Here's God of War Ragnarok, 120 FPS mode. Those games are a freaking joke. It was pretty weak on the next-gen front. Again, those are poorly optimized games. Those games run like crap on PC. Do some research. It has nothing to do with the next-gen consoles or the next-gen games. 12 months from Roger. That's a whole year. Roger, you're still on a base membership. You need to upgrade. You guys that are hearing me say this, you're not doing it. You don't stay on a base membership. Type !upgrade and click that link and bump up for $1. Jatoak just gifted 5 members. King Trout, Ink Sanity, Dutchman Beats Spriggle, and Quantum Apotheon. You guys can all right now upgrade for $1. Everybody that just got a gifted membership, you can go to a full membership for $1. But they look great, so moot point. What? They look great, so moot point. They're already saying this console hardware isn't strong enough. Who is they? Who's saying that, Brian? They are saying that this console isn't hard. This console hardware is not strong enough. Who's they? Quote some educated, reliable sources on that. I'm not seeing anybody saying that. Do you know who said that? Copium drunkard YouTubers who were trying to defend Gotham Knights said that. Literal YouTubers that were so drunk on copium were like, we're looking at the performance of Gotham Knights like, yeah, these consoles just aren't strong enough. Those people don't know what the frick they're talking about. Jaggy Snake with 15 months. Jaggy, you're still at a base membership. Lazaro upgraded to full. Wouldn't shock me if Alana Pierce is a senior writer and heading the writing team before long. Maybe she'll write her own AAA story one day. I think she's one of the greatest people in this space. She's so pleasant. I like her a lot. She's great. I'm glad that she's staying at Santa Monica. Oh, the moot point was directed to me about Demon Souls and Horizon Forbidden West. Yo, thank you, Dragon Osmium, for upgrading to full membership. There's 950 of you still on base memberships. You guys need to get on a full membership. It's $1. I need that dividing line. It'll be a $6 membership from here on out. Yo, Gaming Montel, a brand new member and a VIP. Thank you. What is going on? We've had 9 new members for the day. Let's keep going. Keep the member train going. So many people jumping in. Tom Grant says, hey, I'll do a full membership because Tom got it gifted just today. It cost him $1 to do that. Thank you very much, Tom. Listen, is he still here? I hope he's still here. Brian, I hope you see through the fog of me going on rants and saying all this stuff and using words like ignorant, like, I hope you see that I am not interested in bashing a console or bashing people. I'm interested in dialogue and debates and discourse. And if you can get in the ring and keep going, even if I feel like your points are ones that I don't agree with and I'm going to shred, like, I actually have respect for somebody who's going to get in the ring and let their chin just be wailed on. Like, I've got respect for that. Even if I don't agree with your positions. People kept telling me to ban Brian. Why would we do that? I don't want an echo chamber in here. I only ban people who are insulting and nasty. I do not ban people that come in and disagree and have takes that don't line up with mine. I don't do that. My chin feels okay. I would say that means you've got one, because you've come in here, said a bunch of stuff that I don't agree with, and I have absolutely wailed on your positions. Yo, thank you, Aaron Barker, for upgrading to full membership. Thank you, Ashen, for upgrading to full membership. 3 months from Tom. Glad it remembered my existing membership time. 3 months, baby. Excited for Ragnarok? What's your setup? Stop. Whistle stop tour, please. Much love. What? I mean, I can't show my setup. I mean, you kind of get a look at it when you get here. Like, you can kind of see I'm in a bit of a studio. On this side, I've got my table for my Lego channel that I drag over. It's got a TIE fighter on it right now. Well, it's not being built. It's just the pieces. And then the rest of the room has these sound panels on it. So there's no echo at all. It's a sound deadened room. But I can't, like, move the cameras around and show everything. Yo, good morning, Javier. They also make for great entertainment. Yeah, I only ban people if they're going to come in here and be nasty and insulting and disruptive. Somebody that's going to come in and disagree with me, dude, you might as well come in and just paint yourself in gold. Like, that person's worth their weight in gold, especially when they're going to do it and not be mean. You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is to find people on the internet to disagree and not be mean and nasty? Oh, good, the legs are hidden. Only feet, no legs. Yeah. And lie. Yeah, and lie. Like, that drives me absolutely insane. People just want to come in and be like, make stuff up. When someone just says random crap to get a reaction out of you and they have no proof of the argument, I couldn't take that. I mean, here's the thing. I've been doing this a really, really long time. So, like, you have to be able to see through. You have to be able to see through the pomp and circumstance and not get upset by it. Like, obviously, I get wound up and, you know, and start going on rants and stuff. But I enjoy that. People proving the ignorant point when they get upset thinking you called them stupid. Well, to be fair, I wish there was another word I could use, because people do throw around the word ignorant and they use it as an insult. That's not how I'm using it. I'm being like, dude, you don't have the information. You've not looked into engines and their versatility and how they can be optimized. You haven't looked at it. Jay Chris just upgraded to upgrade to a VIP membership. Thank you so much. Can we move on, please? No, I'll talk about what I want and for how long I want to talk about it. You're not in charge here. Uninformed? Yeah, I guess I could go with uninformed. You're uninformed. Like, here's the thing. Whenever Gotham Knights, everybody found out it was going to be 30 FPS. And it started making the rounds. Yo, Alex Yeager just jumped in, brand new member, and picked VIP. That is so awesome. Could we get a VIP member train right now? Could I get a bunch of existing members to upgrade to VIP and a bunch of brand new people to pick VIP? I really want to see that VIP number go up. I'll start doing I'm telling you, we've got an idea. It'll be tough, but I would love to have so many VIPs, man. You guys get guaranteed access to game night. Well, first dibs on game night. And I put, like, codes in the Discord sometimes that I get that I don't need. I'm like, oh, I have an extra one. And I throw it in the VIP room. Do you guys remember when we were covering Gotham Knights? So if you're just tuning in, God of War Ragnarok reviews are undeniable, as far as I've read them and looked at the general scores, but there's still people talking about how it doesn't look next gen, and it looks like a PS4 game, and whatever. Thank you, Narwaffle, upgrading to VIP. Let's go. And so basically what we're talking about is what defines a next-gen game. And when Gotham Knights was like getting reamed out for only hitting 30 FPS, there was at least one or two YouTubers that started this narrative of these consoles aren't as strong as we thought they are. They can't run games at, you know, with all these lighting and run them at 60 FPS. And do you remember what I said? I said, the people saying this, they're just new to games coverage. It's their first rodeo, and they're going to get bucked right off the horse because they don't know what they're talking about. Because anybody looking at the situation knew these games had been poorly optimized. And then the reports came out, and Digital Foundry tried to run the game on PC, and it ran like hot garbage. That has nothing to do with the strength of the consoles, right? Those people were so quick to defend the game, they started trying to blame the consoles. We're already back to 30 FPS. Have these games established a precedent going forward? We're not back to 30 FPS. 2 games are not a standard, homie. There are way more games that have come out that let you get 60 FPS. You have to understand, the reason Gotham Knights at 30 FPS and the reason Plague Tale Requiem on its tech performance analyzation, the reason both those games got shredded and ridiculed, do you want to know why? It's because it's literally because they were anomalous. It was a question? Okay, no, yeah. Bro, those games were anomalous. Right now, when God of War Ragnarok comes out, you're going to have like 4 options of how to play it. Performance this, 120, 4K that, blah, blah, blah. Like 4 different ways to play it. Callisto Protocol has already said they're going to have a 60 FPS performance mode. Forspoken has... apparently Forspoken actually is having some issues with performance, but it's going to have a performance mode. Somebody said they played it on PC and they were having issues. What does anomalous mean? So anomalous means like if someone says, oh, that was an anomaly, it means it broke from, it wasn't normal. It wasn't a normal thing. It wasn't a normal occurrence. Like, let's say you were making cheeseburgers and you had one cheeseburger go flying off the grill because a bunch of stuff happened on the grill and it just popped off. You would say, oh, that was anomalous. That's not going to continue to happen. A bunch of weird things happened that led to this moment. So when Gotham Knights and Plague Tale Requiem hit the landscape as next-gen titles and there was no 60 FPS performance option, that broke from the norm at that point. All of the next-gen titles coming out are like, no, that performance mode. So people were defending Gotham Knights and saying, all these games are 4K 30, 4K 30. And it's like, yes, but then they also have other options and performance choices. So if the danger of those 2 games is that people are going to think that like, oh yeah, we're taking a step back in time. We're taking a step back in time. Not next gen stream highlight. Ooh, I like that, Creature. I like that. That looks really good. That looks really good. So we're gonna start doing stream highlights as uploads on this channel. I'm gonna see. I hope you guys like them. I hope you guys like them. That's great work. That's great work, Creature. So when I'm hunting for shorts, I'm going to periodically find sections of videos where I rant and debate somebody for 8 or 10 minutes. We're going to yank it out and upload it as a highlight on this channel. We'll probably end a lot of our days, and we'll help you guys. We'll have you guys help us premiere it. Like, we'll send you over to it and kind of end the day with it, and then it'll have a nice big strong punch, because we have to basically start doing all 3 content types on this channel. We have to do live streams that we're doing now, shorts, and we have to start doing uploads, because we have a whole video tab that we're not putting videos into. And the way that YouTube's going to start treating the content, you can have a channel that does all 3. Yo, another VIP member. Keep the VIP member train going. We still have 2 VIP members at the top of the chat. Keep it going. Click join. or type !upgrade and upgrade your membership to VIP today. Nobody should be at a base membership unless they're a gifted member. So currently, if you are paying for your own membership, you absolutely need to upgrade. Get off of the base membership. Only 30 FPS I'll touch now is Bloodborne, because of Bloodborne. Consider me reassured. See, I'm telling you right now. That's why I don't ban people, chat. I'm telling you. Somebody comes in here and gets a taste of what we do, even if they don't agree with me, I think they'll stick around. We came to blows within 3 seconds of this guy coming in here, and now we're having a good conversation. Telling you, that's why you don't ban people for just disagreeing. You're saying Brian made today's highlights? It's possible. It's very possible. He might. I don't know. We'll see. I'll go back and watch and see if we've got a good 10-minute segment from it. Anyone questioning what Next Gen is hasn't played Returnal or Rift Apart with 3D audio headset. The DualSense makes games like Rift Apart a 4D experience. It's just talking. Well, here in our experience, not a lot of people take that attitude. You know what I'm saying? They get their feathers kind of ruffled. Could we get 16 more likes on the video? That would probably help us out. We're kind of losing our viewership. We're kind of dipping. Let's get the likes up to 400. That'll probably help out. Gifts some members, super chats, all those things helps the video. Anything third person, I don't mind 30 FPS. First person needs to be 60. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do 30 in anything. I noticed it even more in third person because I feel like the cam is zoomed out more. Yo, Texas just upgraded to full membership. Thank you, Texas. Young people take disagreement too personally. Our audience here is definitely mid-20s and up. We don't appeal to a younger audience for sure. Admittedly, I haven't gotten far in Returnal, but nothing in it looks next gen to me other than no load screens. Are you serious, Clark? What? Welfare Rockstar, thank you for upgrading to VIP. Listen, you better watch what you say, because I love Returnal. Returnal was my game of the year. What do you mean there's nothing next gen? What are you talking about? Particle effects, the lighting, the movement, the animations. What? The detail in her and the world and the characters? Are you kidding me? I don't understand. I'm telling you right now. Folks are going to spend this generation disappointed if they don't start acknowledging that we are getting really great next-gen titles, and they had some weird utopian idea of what next-gen was going to be, and it isn't going to happen. I can't find a PS5, so I wouldn't know about Returnal. Brian, I'm telling you right now, what you said about Ratchet and Clank, if you get a PS5 and you play Ratchet and Clank on a good television, don't play it on some old low-res TV, right? Like, I know not everybody can afford super nice televisions, but please try to play it on a nice TV or monitor. There's no way you will say Ratchet and Clank could have been done on a PS3. There's just no way. You won't say that if you play it. I can't see anybody experiencing that game and being like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely a PS3 game." I do not see it. I hate God of War 2018. It's so bad on small, narrow environments, boring combat, and the camera is shoved up Kratos' butt. You know what's funny? The last time I played God of War 2018, I definitely felt like I wanted to zoom the camera out a teeny bit. You have a nice TV, just no PS5? Okay. Well, first quarter of next year, it might be a little bit easier to get them, and there should be an injection of them in for the holidays. I think there's MW2 bundles that keep getting available on the PS5 Direct. To be fair, can we trust Lono on games? He loves Hellblade. I know you're trying to bait me, TaylorMade. I absolutely know this is bait, but I will fricking cut you in the street with a spoon. So it'll take a long time, but I'll do it. I will. That's not a real threat. I'm kidding around. I am. I'm kidding. I will fight you! No, I'm just kidding. Hellblade is the closest to perfection, I think, in gaming. I think it's the closest to a perfect game that I've ever experienced. At every level of artistry, sound design, storytelling, voice acting, all of it. It's close. Very close to perfection. Oh, PS5 Direct bundles are still up, says Smashville. There you go. So in Modern Warfare 2, I have 3 different sessions the last couple of days. The first 2 were awful, beat to pieces. But yesterday evening, the lobbies were actually really great to play. Wonder how long that'll last. It's the hyperbole about Hellblade for me. Yeah, well, that's fine, Corey. That's fine. Like, you know, you're not a real gamer if you just watch me play it, so it's fine. I don't have to... Nice Robin Hood reference with the spoon. You know, it was an accident. I'll cut your heart out with a spoon. Why a spoon? Because it would hurt, you idiot. Has anybody ever done a mashup and like made that Snape's backstory? You know, that would be really funny. Snape, the early years. I just want to have a great playing experience. I don't care if I'm first or last, but I feel I'm on my skill level in a lobby. It makes me wonder what happened. Maybe they toned it down. I don't know. Yeah. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yeah. Alan Rickman. How's Coffee Biz? It's been going really, really well. It's been going really, really well. We've been getting a steady order of coffee. We'll be letting you guys order the Frickmas in about 2 weeks. And yeah, it's been awesome. If you guys didn't know, here at Reforge Gaming, we do have our own coffee company. Well, not coffee company. It's our own coffee, Reforge Roast. We have a light roast and a dark roast. If you've never tried coffee before with balanced acidity, you should try it out. Do a best of both worlds combo. Get the light roast and the dark roast. It's literally in my house. It's not like a sponsorship. Like my wife and kiddos ship it to you. You get like little drawings from my kids. I'm about to boot up in Modern Warfare after breakfast and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, if you got beat to pieces and then had a bunch of good games, I mean, you might have just gotten dropped into a bad bracket. Because you got beat up, and so they feel like you did bad, so here's a bunch of bad players. Yo, Hemi G, upgrading to a full membership. Thank you for doing that. I need everybody to do that. I need so many members to upgrade to full membership. If we're seeing Returnal as a true next-gen game, then doesn't Ragnarok lack some of the next-gen features like ray tracing, instantaneous load screens, excellent adaptive trigger support? No. No. What do you mean instantaneous load times? God of War Ragnarok is a single one-cut game. There are no load times, other than when you die. And when you die, I think I counted. It's like a 5 or 6 second load screen when you die. Instantaneous loading was not what was promised. Faster load times were promised. A 5 or 6 load time is incredibly fast. Like, you have to understand something. Instantaneous load times was not promised. So when a game like Ghost of Tsushima pulls it off or Returnal pulls it off, that's not the standard. That's just something some games can do. We were promised faster load times, not instantaneous. So the other thing to remember is God of War Ragnarok has 4K. It has higher frames per second. You can go up to a 120 hertz mode and get 80 to 90 frames if you want. And it has haptic feedback. It has 3D audio. Just not sure about instantaneous load times. I just saw the 10 seconds things, but my other points are valid. No, your other points are not valid. We were not promised that we would always get like adaptive triggers. We were promised haptic feedback, which we got. Adaptive triggers are an optional thing that some games do and some games don't. That's not a guarantee. That's not something that you have to. So you're going to play a game that's 4K, 30 FPS, ray tracing, beautiful, like your eyeballs are melting from the beauty, but it doesn't have like adaptive triggers, and you're going to be like, well, it's not next gen because my triggers aren't being resistant. That's... What? The adaptive trigger thing is not in every game on the PlayStation 5. It's an option for developers to utilize if they want. Hellblade 2 will not be popular. Part 1 is still not well known. Hellblade 2 will be very popular. It'll be very popular. It'll have Microsoft's marketing budget behind it, and it'll be a great debut Unreal 5 title. It's going to be quite popular. I believe that Hellblade 2 will be one of the bigger first-party titles for Xbox. They're going to throw their weight behind it. I think they're going to give it like... They're going to want Senua to be almost like Kratos for them. She's going to be iconic for their platform. That's my prediction. Does your roast ship to the UK? Pulse Reflection, it does. However, it's you're gonna pay a pretty penny for the shipping. We don't have any control over that. God of War Ragnarok has adaptive trigger support. It's just not heavily implemented. Right, yeah, SkillUp said that. He said there's not much that happens in the game with adaptive triggers. Yeah, he did say that. That is true. Hellblade has sold over 1 million copies. Yeah, a little unknown title sold over 1 million copies. Like, I think the second one's going to do very, very well. Combat sucks in Hellblade. It's a walking sim. K. Hope Hellblade runs at 60 FPS in the Series X. It'll run at 60 FPS. They're building an Unreal 5. I think the Unreal 5 engine's going to have a very easy time hitting 60 FPS in the Series X. It's a good engine. It has some issues on PC with like textures or something, but I don't think it's going to struggle to hit 60 FPS on the Series X. What about RTX then? Because that's expected from some next-gen games. I'm going to be dead honest with you. If games pass on ray tracing, I don't give a frick. I think ray tracing is overrated, and it's an optimization killer. I think ray tracing sucks. Total hot take on ray tracing. I think ray tracing is overrated, and I think it sucks. And more games skipping on it, I'll be happy. Because it's an optimization killer. I don't want it. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. It's a stupid marketing buzzword, and all it does is kill optimization. Do you have any idea? I guarantee you we would probably have a ton of 4K 60 games if they'd quit doing the dadgum ray tracing. Get it out of here. It's not that impressive. It's not that impressive. Like, I don't look at a game and I'm like, oh, ray tracing, no way. You know what I'm looking at a game and saying? Where's the FPS? Where's the FPS? I don't care about ray tracing, bro. At some point, lighting is lighting, bro. Like, what are you doing? Lighting is lighting. I need my game to run well, and ray tracing is this absolute optimization killer. Get it out of here. But it sounds cool. I'm here to tell you, man. I'm here to tell you right now, the more games that skip ray tracing, the better. Because you know what gamers are going to start saying? Who needs ray tracing? Who needs it? Get out of here. You're overrated. Ray tracing. Overrated. Zinthos upgraded to a VIP membership. Thank you, Zinthos, for doing that. So many people bumping up to VIP. Thank you for doing that. Spider-Man and Ratchet implemented ray tracing really well. Here's the thing, Eugene. I don't know what Insomniac is doing, but they're freaking wizards. And I don't want to use them as some kind of a standard. Like, I don't want other companies feeling like they've got to do ray tracing. Insomniac literally has wizards working for them. Like, they're not human. We can't use Insomniac. I just don't want to use them. Their in-house engine, I don't know what the frick they did to that in-house engine that they use, but that thing is remarkable. I don't want to ever use them as the paragon or the archetype. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want to look at any other studio and be like, you got to do what those guys are doing, because all they're going to do is ruin their game. Insomniac should be the gold standard. Why wouldn't you want other devs modeling after their performance? Because I worry that it's really difficult with other engines. What a journey. Keep on trucking, my man. Thank you, Hilly, for 22 months and a VIP. I would not call Insomniac the gold standard, Sven. I would call them the platinum standard. If you can hit just under what Insomniac pulls off, I'm thrilled. If you land just under what Insomniac pulls off, I'm happy. That's a 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 game for me. They're the platinum standard. What those guys pull off with their games, I don't know how they're doing it or what they're doing. Their in-house engine is magic. It's absolute magic. And it's like, I don't think it's so difficult with in-house engines to be like, well, hey, use Unreal and do what those guys are doing. Use your in-house engine and do what those guys are doing. Well, maybe they can for very particular reasons. Pray to God we have a developer like Insomniac for Xbox. Man, I love having somebody say something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing, like a lot of times, like Xbox guys, they don't want to give any praise to Sony. We have a lot of guys here that willingly give praise to Sony, even though they're super pro Xbox. I'm super pro Xbox, and I say the same thing. We really would love to see a dev over there at that caliber. It would be amazing. And maybe through the Blizzard Activision acquisition, they can get some devs over there at that caliber. Insomniac should not be the gold standard. All games would look the same. Pulse Reflection, do you honestly think that Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man look the same? Do you think Wolverine's going to look like Ratchet and Clank? I don't think so. And I don't think people are saying they're the gold standard and all the games should look like their games. I think people are talking about performance and features. More than anything, people were talking about performance and features. Implement ray tracing and have your game still be well optimized. You know, that's kind of the goal. Insomniac made one game for Xbox, then nothing. Well, yeah, they're owned by Sony now. I bought an Xbox just to play with friends. Honestly, PlayStation has put so much work into exclusives and it's paying off. It's depressing how little work Xbox is doing right now. Alex, I actually appreciate people just saying that and being honest about it. Like, it's kind of refreshing. I know it's sad and disappointing. I'm just as disappointed. I love my Series X and I want some great first-party titles for it. You know what I mean? Which graphics mode will I play on? 1440-60. 1440-60. Do you guys remember when I told you that I think the standard going forward was going to be 4K 30, 1440-60? You remember when I said that? I think that's going to continue. I think 2 years from now, your big game launches are going to drop, and those will be the things you're choosing between 4K 30 and 1440-60. I had people that told me that was nuts. They thought, no, 4K 60, we'll get 4K 60. Well, you might get it if all these idiots stop doing ray tracing. If they stop doing ray tracing, but I think 1440-60 is the sweet spot. I think that's real nice. Looks great on my TV, and it will never stutter, right? You go above 1440, you're probably going to get some stutters. You're going to get some frame drops. I'd rather have 1440-60 and never see a single hitch. That's my hope. Somehow Insomniac managed to get 1440, 100 FPS and ray tracing out of their games. Like I said, Corey, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. I want a strong Microsoft so I have something to go between Sony releases. Right? That's right. Starfield's already next year. What do you mean 2024? I don't know who said 2024. I don't think I was saying that that's when Xbox titles will be coming. I was just saying in 2 years, I think even when even bigger and newer titles are coming out, it's going to be 4K 30, 1440, 60. That's the standard. Starfield couldn't keep their FPS at 30. I'm very worried about Starfield, actually. I've been looking forward to that game for a really long time, and I'm super concerned about performance. I think a really great game is underneath, and I think it's going to be mired in performance problems, and it's going to really hurt it. Someone asked if Starfield might be pushed back because of Ragnarok. Oh, Well, Starfield was originally supposed to be launching in this month, and there were some developers that said privately they were avoiding Ragnarok because they knew God of War was going to be a tectonic release. So I don't think that's why Starfield was delayed. No, I think Starfield was delayed because they can't get it to run well on the Series S. I think they're trying to optimize it for the Series S and they're struggling. I think the game itself is going to have baked-in performance problems, and I think the Series S is compounding. That's not what today's topic is about, but that's my too long didn't read quick summary statement on Starfield. I think the game looks so promising, and I really, really want to play it, but I'm super concerned that game's going to run real bad. I don't even think that this current gen can't run ray tracing. I think ray tracing is a dadgum semi-truck. It's just heavy and I don't know. We're just now seeing in the 440XX series of NVIDIA cards where ray tracing above 1440 with DLSS isn't a complete tank on FPS. Yeah, and that's what the graphics card that's like twice as strong as a PS5. Like, come on. So is Ragnarok the standard that should be set for next-gen consoles according to you? Venator, I'm not saying that it should. I'm not creating an imperative, but what I've been trying to tell people is if you look at the graphical fidelity of Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok and Forza Horizon, Forza 5, that is, I think we're right at the ceiling of what these consoles can do. I don't think in 2 or 3 years you're going to see games coming out and you're going to turn around and say, these games just blow Ragnarok and Forza out of the water. No. Nope. No, I think we're right near the ceiling. You might see some cool new features and some snazzy new bells and whistles, but I don't think you're going to turn around in 2 or 3 years and be like, oh my gosh, look at how bad Ragnarok looks in comparison to Spider-Man 2. Nope. The Spider-Man 2 will be one of the first-party titles on Sony to only be on the PS5, and I promise you, well, no, not one of the first only, because we have Ratchet, and we have Returnal, and we have Demon's Souls Remake, but that's supposed to be the turn of the tide. Spider-Man 2 is supposed to represent the turn of the tide. No more cross-gen after Spider-Man 2, and I don't think anybody's going to boot up Spider-Man 2 and be like, God of War Ragnarok gameplay looks like a joke in comparison. Nope. No. I think Spider-Man 2's graphical fidelity will be very, very close to the graphical fidelity and the performance of Ragnarok and Miles Morales and Spider-Man. I don't think it's going to be this huge leap. I think you'll be able to point to differences. You will be able to point to improvements, but it's not going to be tectonic. It's not going to feel like this giant leap. It's not, oh, look at the difference. Even the end of life, end of generation PS5 is not going to be super, like, distinguishable from what we're playing right now. Absolutely not, no. Because the hardware in these systems, we already know their limitations, we already know where the bottlenecks are, we already know where the ceilings are, and we're really close to them already. I had a lot of people disagreeing with me, I had a lot of people saying, like, we haven't seen the full potential of these consoles yet, and I'm like, no, I think we've seen pretty much everything. For the most part. There'll be features and bells and whistles and some cool stuff, but you are not going to look at the end of the life cycle of the PS5 and be like, "Oh my gosh, The Last of Us 3 absolutely blows Ragnarok out of the water." Nope. It'll be a 4K 30 beautiful game, 1440 60 game, almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. The tech world is already moving beyond what the PS5 can do already. Like, look at what they're trying to do on PCs right now with monster rigs, and they're struggling. They're struggling to do like true 4K 60 bonkers pretty video games on computers that are like twice the strength of the PS5. So I don't know what kind of magic tricks you think they're going to pull end of life of the PS5, but I have zero confidence in that happening. I think we're already at the ceiling of performance, and I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, you got 3090 and 4090 cards struggling to do all these just bonkers cool things like 4K 60 ray tracing. You ain't getting that on a PS5. You ain't even going to get that on a PS5 Pro. No way. You're not looking at the hardware spectrum with open eyes if you think that. You're not looking at the hardware situation with open eyes. If you look at the benchmarks, and the testing now, there are really, really strong systems that are struggling to do stuff that apparently we think that the Series X and the PS5 are just going to magically do. You just said PlayStation developers are wizards? Yeah, but Jay, right. There's a limitation on their power. I mean, Gandalf is a wizard, but he can only do so much. I mean, watch some movies, right? The AI upscaling is the key. It allows better resolutions with less resources, freeing up resources for other things. I don't know. I'm not confident in it, Eugene. I'm not. Everything we know about bandwidth and efficiency in development, everything we know about bandwidth and efficiency in development, I don't think developers are gonna hang a lot of effort and energy on that. They're not going to. Do you want to know what they're gonna do? They're going to do what works. They're going to do what works and say, well, this works really well. Let's just do this. 4K, 30, 1440, 60. Modern Warfare 2 UI overhaul. Did the big update today do anything to it at all? I know there's a big update. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the subscribe button today. Bunch of new subscribers. My short went absolutely insane this morning. It was a really, really short one. And, I'm going to block this person. 4K on PS5 is upscaling, not native. Well, yeah. 4K native is virtually non-existent anywhere that you see 4K showing up. The short was short. It was very short. I had to use it, though, because the timing of, like, it's just a PS4 game. And it times with, like, Kratos turning around. It was too funny to not use. Some guy's like, I don't think this proves what you think it proves. I'm like, thanks for confirming you have terrible eyesight. If you honestly think that the difference in the footage there that I show doesn't clearly show a large difference of graphical fidelity and performance, like it looks like a completely different game. Like you got sleep in your eyes, bro. It was so short, I found it hard to hit the like button on my TV before it was on to the next vid. You know they named them shorts because, well, it's the shortest short that I've ever done. I believe it's 7 seconds. I believe that it is 7 seconds. It was a little bit longer. There's a slightly longer version hitting the other platforms, but I just didn't like the ending and how I was talking. I kind of stumbled on my words a little bit. I kind of stumbled on my words a little bit. So I cut it even shorter on YouTube. It's like really short on YouTube. 7 seconds, bro. There's an 8-minute version landing sometime today. That's right. Oh, I totally... Oh, look at you. You look cute. Love that. That's cute. Your kid's cute, mama. Oh, your friend told you about it? Is that what was on the porch this morning? Yeah. My wife refers to this Instagram person that she follows as her friend. She's like, oh, my friend told me about this. Oh, yeah? Your friend, huh? Oh, quit glaring. I don't know if they refer to me as their friend. Yeah, my friend told me about that game. Am I your friend, chat? Are we friends? I have a friend like that. His name is Google. You're our friend, Lono? Oh, see? Thanks. Oh, she made that. She sewed it? She put. Oh. But so she paid somebody to make the shirt. So I stop that. Wait, you can't distract me in the middle of the debate just because you're gonna lose. Like, you can sense the walls closing. You're like, oh, I'm gonna distract him. Get out of here. What was I saying? I don't even know what we were talking about. You're so... My wife calls you that YouTube guy? You're a little emotional man. Yeah, that's what Creature's wife calls me. The little emotional man. My wife said little, comma, emotional man. Great. Both of our wives now teaming up. That's awesome. We are not friends, Lono. You are too much of a Sony fanboy for me to actually be your friend. My sister calls you the hair dude? The hair dude? The hair do? The hair dude? Get it? That'd be a good name for a barbershop. The hair dude. Somebody trademark that. Probably already done. My son just calls you Lono. Perfect. Perfect. My friend calls you the glasses guy. The glasses guy. My parole officer calls you the coffee and the hair dude. Your parole... What is your real name? A lot of people here, you will see them refer to me as Lono. But my real name's Lucas. I don't really go... I mean, you can call me that. I don't care. It used to bother me, but I don't care about that anymore. I've kind of gone through a lot of changes in personal things, and I try to be like a more genuine, like authentic... You get me when you show up here. You're not getting like some persona or some... Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Like, it's not that at all. Like, it's rough, it's raw, it's organic, you know. Sometimes I lose my temper on people and have to like apologize. Like, you're not gonna get... I don't know if you'll get this kind of content in many places on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? The level of interaction, and like, I feel like you get authenticity here. You don't get some version of me. Like, this is how I am in real life. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not necessarily hitting a fever pitch of like ranting and raving when I'm in conversations with my friends. I definitely turn it up for that, but that's part of the show. But that's still me. That's not like a persona. That's why I joined VIP. Most talk shows suck. Well, thank you. Now, if your name was Lester, then I would understand. You look like a Lucas. Thank you. Lucas Sky Meander. See, growing up, I either got told, because obviously I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was born in 81. My birthday's actually next week, November the 9th, the day that God of War Ragnarok releases. The God of War Ragnarok release date is my birthday. I thought it was going to be the day before on Tuesday, but they pushed it to the 9th for Odin's Day. And so I'm really excited. If you guys didn't know, the community here kickstarted a Lego channel by sending me Legos off the wish list. You can use the wish list command if you want to send stuff for my birthday. I got back into Legos in a big way. I grew up with them. And so I got like that's why we have this second camera I rig in the ceiling for my Lego builds. The Lego channel hasn't launched yet. So yeah, I'll be 41 next week. And growing up with the name Lucas, I was constantly told, Luke, I am your father. I got that all the time because of, obviously, Luke Skywalker in Star Wars was huge when I was growing up. And then I also had people asking me if I was related to George Lucas, which makes no sense, but, you know, kids are stupid, so they don't joke. Their jokes aren't that great, you know, all these middle schoolers. Are you related to George Lucas? No, you moron. That's his last name. So... My last name, I'm sorry, my first name got me all kinds of Star Wars jokes growing up. The Luke, I am your father one was fine. That was funny. But are you related to George Lucas was like, no. Lego Lono's the new channel. No, you can't use Lego in your name or your branding. They'll come after you. It's all trademarked. It's all trademarked. There's a great reason to become a member, chat. And you want to know what a great reason to become a member is? I'll tell you a great reason to become a member. We are constantly doing members-only streams. And tonight, I'll be streaming with my wife. We'll be playing some games together. It's really, really fun. Bring your drinks. Bring your laughs. We have a great time. But we also have been doing... So you've been dealing with stupid comments your entire life. You were born and molded by it. That's right. I was molded as a short kid, who was constantly teased about his height. I was prepared for the internet. Like, people are like, somebody said something mean to me on the internet. And I'm like, first time, it doesn't bother me. I think I was literally cut from stone. I was prepared to be a content creator like a long, long time ago. Luke, I might be your father. But another thing we do is we do members. Well, you know what? I don't think we have enough time for it now. We're just gonna, we'll just coast. I think we're gonna coast right into the rundown. I was gonna do a member stream in between this stream and the rundown, but we were supposed to do that at 11, and it's now 11:15. So I think it probably just makes more sense to let this thing coast, and then I'll get on a call with Mike, and we'll get the show ready. So what the Reforge Rundown is, it's a weekly podcast between myself and my friend 30 and Still Gaming. And we used to do a show called The Roundtable, and Ginger got a job and could no longer be on the show. And rather than forcing the Roundtable format, we thought it would be more fun to just do a two-man show called The Rundown. And we would kick off the show with the lead topic and then kind of run down the week and everything that we've been covering. So we can continue talking about God of War Ragnarok right now. I have a discussion question for you to keep things going, right? I haven't used any of these discussion questions yet, right? So, I'm curious what you guys think about all the Game of the Year talks. Everybody's talking Game of the Year. Mike's not going to be here till 11:45. Yeah, Dr. Promise, you have time. Yeah, but that's fine. Going to members, we're because even if we did the next show at 12:15, I feel like that we're too close. Yo, Cody Biscuits, thanks for upgrading to full membership. Convict, thanks for upgrading to full membership. We need everybody currently paying for a membership to use that upgrade command and get off of base membership. If you're a gifted member, a base membership is going to start being considered a trial membership in December. You have all of November to upgrade. Thank you, everybody who has already done that. So do you guys think, with all the Game of the Year conversation, do you think Game of the Year is locked up? Like, is this it? Is it over? Like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, man, no, dude, it's Elden Ring, it's Elden Ring, it's Elden Ring. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think this took it already. I know it's not out yet, but I feel like it's kind of over. I read the reviews, and I'm like, yeah, it's done. It's getting, the praise is too good. It's getting 9s and 10s already. I feel like God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year, I just feel like it's locked up. I do. It's now Ragnarok's year to lose. It's going to be a battle, but Ragnarok is epic. It's done. God of War Ragnarok has it in the bag. I think comparison's the thief of joy. I want to enjoy Ragnarok. Well, I'm not trying to do comparisons, The only comparisons I've done is comparisons to God of War 2018. LOL, took it already. I mean, we did the same thing when Elden Ring was getting 9s and 10s when it got reviews. We said, "Oh man, it's going to be Game of the Year frontrunner with this level of review scores." And then God of War comes in and it's getting 9s and 10s. Elden Ring had 9s and 10s also. The difference is that Elden Ring got 9s and 10s, and then it got kind of shredded by the community because it had performance issues. It had performance problems. Also, Elden Ring is a distant memory at this point, so God of War Ragnarok is going to have recency bias. There's also no characters or narrative to really attach to in Elden Ring, and I think that's going to sway people. I think you might be right, but it would be interesting to think what we might think of God of War Ragnarok if it released in February and Elden Ring released now. Oh, for sure. I think recency bias is going to play a huge factor. I think it's going to play a huge factor. God of War is a console exclusive, isn't it? That has not hurt Game of the Year in the past. Has not hurt Game of the Year in the past. being a console exclusive. Who votes Game of the Year? Devs, Game of the Year panel. It's based on gaming press and a panel, and I think they look at review scores and they look at, I think they look at consumer reception. They look at, how the review outlets received a game. Yep. Rating does not make a game win Game of the Year, dude. It's a huge factor. I don't know if you, are you expecting to come in here and educate us on Game of the Year? Because I mean, we've covered the Game Awards. We know how it works. At this point, I think it's God of War. Recency bias and performance at launch will tip the scales in its failure. I think you meant to say in its corner. All the recency bias talk, but if you look at previous year award games released in the first half of the year, they won, but Ragnarok will still win. Thank you, Brown Babby, for upgrading to a full membership. I appreciate that very, very much. Can DLC win Game of the Year? A strong and meaningful story is what gives it the edge. Santa Monica pulled off the impossible again. If the reviews are true, this surpasses God of War 2 as the greatest sequel ever made in my mind. You were going for favor? Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Favor in its fate. I said corner. Yeah. Personally, Elden Ring is a step back from Sekiro gameplay-wise, so it was never going to be my Game of the Year. Who's voting that award anyway? Well, there's like a panel, right? There's like a panel, there's press, they look at review scores, they look at consumer reception. I think they look at like all of it. Gotham Knights is the mobile Game of the Year. Yeah. Gotham Knights is definitely the mobile Game of the Year. It's so mean. I think Horizon Forbidden West will win Best Animation and Motion Capture. Yeah, I think Forbidden West will win some awards. I do. I think Elden Ring will win some awards. I think the Big Daddy award though is going to Kratos. I think Game of the Year is going to Ragnarok. ACG said the cast of God of War is amazing. I think that solid narrative and cast will push it to the top. If Ragnarok wins, it's just Game of the Month. Oh my gosh. That's not what that term means. Who gets best voice performance? Oh, I don't know. After the nominees are released, the winner is selected by a combined vote consisting of 90% from the votes from juries and 10% from public voting. Right, they have like a panel of like basically like juries. I feel like those are mostly people from the gaming press. Modern Warfare 2 better win something for audio. Yeah, it could win for audio design. It could. Modern Warfare 2's audio design is impeccable. If you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok reviews, and do we think that God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year is locked up? As it seems like it might be. Public voting needs to have a larger say in Game of the Year. I don't think so, because that just turns into a brigade fest. Look at Metacritic, like with review bombs. No. The public, with as much respect as I can muster for how the gaming public behaves, the gaming public is too stupid to be given the ability to vote and sway Game of the Year. They're too stupid. Come on, man. Have you ever looked at the result? Like, I mean, you let the public just vote on stuff. Let's let them go vote on games and let them review bomb Metacritic. Excuse me. Reviewers were even praising the God of War soundtrack. It is everything. MW2 has amazing mocap, better than Horizon Forbidden West. In the cinematics, yes. In the cinematics, does Forbidden West do any cinematics out of engine? Aren't they all in-engine cinematics? Modern Warfare 2 does fully rendered cinematics that are not in-engine. It looks like a movie. I don't know if that's the same. I feel like Forbidden West does all of its cutscenes in-engine. I might be wrong about that. I'm trying to think of like when she's riding on the animals. I don't know. I think it might always be in-engine. I'd have to research that. My gut instinct is that Horizon Forbidden West doesn't do cinematics the same way that they did them in Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, they're like fully rendered movies. I don't think it's the same. How can you justify Game of the Year? Seems like it's already locked up. What do you mean? What do you mean? How can I not say that? The review outlets and reliable YouTubers that have played the game are giving this thing near perfect scores. And from where I sit, it's going to hit certain quality markers that Elden Ring didn't hit. Next-gen performance and graphics, incredible cast of characters and voice acting, gripping story and narrative. You can't say that about Elden Ring. Elden Ring doesn't have any next-gen performance or graphics. It has performance struggles still today. And it doesn't have an amazing cast of characters and story. It's like a loose story that's hard to follow with a couple of voice actors. And the voice acting is fine. There's no award-winning voice acting in Elden Ring. Most review outlets have Elden Ring rated higher. Yes, and then the general public weighed in on it. So I think that's going to be taken into consideration. Elden Ring got great treatment, and then the public weighed in, and it didn't fare as well. It still did great, but that's not the end of the matter. And is that even... Hang on. Elden Ring, Metacritic 96 on PS5, 94 on PC, 96 on Xbox One. With respect, I don't think you're representing that accurately. Saying that it's been rated higher, the difference between 94 and 96, when one of the three platforms, Elden Ring, got a 94, saying that they rated it higher... Come on. 117, no mixed. Elden Ring Metacritic and PC and Series X. And 84 and hang on 60. There's 3 mixed reviews for Elden Ring on PC. There's 3 mixed reviews for Elden Ring on PC. God of War Ragnarok doesn't have any mixed reviews on Metacritic. I don't think you're fairly representing the differences between their review scores. I would say their review scores are basically tied. How is that not represented fairly? Because I could argue that Elden Ring didn't fare as well because it has 3 mixed reviews and Ragnarok has none. They're literally within 2 points of each other. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, it's rated higher. Well, not if you consider the 94 on PC and the 3 mixed reviews. The difference in review score is negligible. You're making it sound like one is being rated like, oh yeah, it got much better treatment. A point or 2? That's margin of error for polling. Right. It's not like God of War got a 90 and Elden Ring got a 96. They're within the range of like margin of error. Not only that, are we looking at all of the review outlets? Or have we totaled them all up? I don't even know. I'm genuinely asking. Have you totaled them all up, or are you just looking at Metacritic? I don't think that's a fair representation to be like, oh yeah, Elden Ring got higher. They're virtually tied. What do you mean? Like, it's ahead by like a hair. I don't think that's a great enough difference to act like the review scores are gonna be a factor. In my mind, the review outlets have basically said identical things about both games. They're both getting the same score, so it's gonna come down to how recent it is and does it have more quality points than Elden Ring, and I believe that it does. From the reviews that I've read, this has more good things to talk about. Sales will determine Game of the Year? No, they will not. That's never been a determiner of Game of the Year. Never said much better. You're throwing out Elden Ring reviews and praising Ragnarok's. No, I've not. That's dishonest. What? Are you just reframing things in a dishonest way? I didn't throw out Elden Ring reviews. I said yesterday and today numerous times, it's basically a deadlock between the two of them with their review scores. It's a deadlock between them. How is that throwing out Elden Ring's review scores? I've not said anything that can be summarized as throwing out Elden Ring's review scores. I'm like losing my patience with false summaries of what I say. It's getting really freaking old. I quite literally have said yesterday and multiple times today, it's a deadlock. They virtually have the same score. If they virtually have the same score, I believe the other factors will determine who wins. And I believe there are more things to praise in Ragnarok. There are things in Ragnarok that are not present in Elden Ring. Next-gen features being one of them. A giant cast of characters. A gripping story. A script. Like, those are things you can't really praise in Elden Ring. It's not there. It's an amazing open-world Dark Souls game that is, I think, the paragon and archetype for open world exploration. But I don't think if it's a deadlock with Ragnarok in review scores, I don't think it wins because Ragnarok's getting praised for things that aren't even present in Elden Ring. You believe is different than Game of the Year seems like it's locked up. I want you to read that sentence really slowly. Game of the Year seems, super important word, seems like it's locked up. Yeah. It's almost like I'm really careful with my verbiage and how I talk. It's almost like I'm very careful in how I say things. Did I say God of War has already won Game of the Year? No. It seems like it's locked up. And I'm obviously stating my opinion. That's clearly my opinion. That's my view on it. It's literally a question. Is Game of the Year is Game of the Year locked up? Is it locked up? I'm asking you. I think it pretty much well is. Yes, I think it is. That's my opinion. You pretty much have said that? Yeah, I think it is locked up. That is my opinion. And I want you to say why you don't think it is. That's the point of a discussion and a debate. Well, that's just your opinion. Yep, that's the whole point of a discussion question. It's not, but it's not. What are we? Or is it circular tautology time? The game's not out yet. And the primary means that a game wins Game of the Year, those people have weighed in, and it's getting 9.5, 9s, and 10s. We don't factor into the equation that strongly as the public. The people that weigh heavily on whether or not something gets Game of the Year, they have weighed in. And it's virtually lock in step with what Elden Ring got. So I think when I look at the two games and what they offer, I think Ragnarok wins because of it's got more. It's got more you can praise. That's my position. I'm substantiating my position with observation about the games. Akuda Papa with a $5 tip. My only pushback would be they are different game types, so some of the criticism in the personal reviews are targeting what makes Elden a Souls game. Well, for sure. But I think that's fundamentally why God of War Ragnarok wins, because I think the gaming press is going to see it in that way. Is it right or wrong? No, but that's what will tip the scales. How many times have they reviewed a game and when it comes out it's trash? That's a really strong argument. God of War Ragnarok is just more God of War 2018, just improved. That IP already won Game of the Year. Doesn't make sense for it to win again. Tell that to The Last of Us Part 2. Tell that to all of the reviews. Tell that to the critical reviews that have looked at performance and graphical differences in the size of the game, and the story, and the expanded world, and the variety of the characters, the combat, the game, the enemies. Like, what do you... It's just more of 2018. No, it's not. The entirety of today's discussion centered around the fact that that's not an accurate depiction of the game. Yeah, isn't Elden Ring just more Dark Souls in an open world environment? Like, are you really going to try to say that about God of War and not look straight face at Elden Ring and not see just how much is borrowed from all of the previous FromSoft games? Like, do you really want to do that? Do you want to go pound for pound against Ragnarok and the difference between Ragnarok and 2018 and then look at the differences between, Elden Ring and all of the former FromSoft games? Like, if you want to do that, I welcome you to, but I think you're gonna find that Elden Ring would be guilty of very similar things. And if it's the primary competition for Ragnarok, then those two things kind of cancel each other out, don't they? Same animation sets, same combat sets. Oh, they expanded the combat. Oh, they gave you more things to do with your combat. Oh, they gave you new abilities. Oh, they gave you more enemy variety so that you could flex on all those things that you would like to do with the combat. That's true of both games. Like, you could honestly call Elden Ring Dark Souls 4 if you wanted. That's not a slam, by the way. It's not a slam. Like, it's not a new it's like, yes, it's a new IP, but come on, it's only a new IP because they named it Elden Ring and not Dark Souls 4. Like, it's all of the parts and the systems and the like, they did expand the combat. So I'm not slamming it. They did expand the combat. I thought the combat in Elden Ring was awesome. I thought they took it up a notch. My favorite thing was jump attacks, guard counter, and breaking posture. I freaking loved doing that. And in a similar fashion, I think God of War Ragnarok has already shown it's added significant systems that completely changes how combat flows, with the parry timing on the one shield or the other shield that like absorbs blocks, the verticality of the combat, the jumping. Like, there's things they did with Ragnarok's combat that you would say are tantamounts to the expansions of the combat in Elden Ring. I've got to go grab my lunch. We are going to continue discussing this. Let me know your thoughts about Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Game of the Year. We're going to be shifting to a Gotham Knights rundown in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. Smash the like button, by the way. 500 people, and we only need 20 more likes for 500 likes. We're going to be doing a weekly show called the Reforge Rundown, and we're going to be discussing Gotham Knights. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm pretty harsh on that game. And 30 and So Gaming likes it a whole lot. So stick around for that show. I'll be right back. Celebrating 20 years of Ratchet and Clank. Could be fun for the kids. What is it? Oh, like an armor pack and stuff? Are they gonna like let you play all the old games? I did not heat this food up enough. I did a whole minute, and it's just got cold spots in it. Unfortunate. Quick question, why is God of War 60 FPS and not 120 on PS5? Because 120 is not a next-gen standard that any next-gen games are hitting. They can aim for it. There's a 120 hertz mode, and I think it hits 80 to 90, but next-gen as a standard is not 120. Like that's not a thing. I know there's a 120 mode for Modern Warfare. I don't know what I think it does variable refresh rate to achieve it, doesn't it? And I believe it turns the res down to like dynamic 1440. .120 isn't next gen feature. Next gen, in my opinion, is 60 frames at 2K. Let's not start this combo again. Yeah, I've never once thought that like next gen games should be hitting 120. Yo, Godslayer, I'm sorry I missed it. I stepped away. A $5 tip from Godslayer Tactician. It's been almost 18 years, and Santa Monica has put out non-stop masterpieces except for God of War Ascension. Thank you so much for the $5 tip. All right, creature, that all looks good. Thank you so much for 7 months, JFG Steven. Make sure you're not on a base membership before December. I think there is an argument for 120 based on HDMI 2.1. If you play 120 for a while and switch to 60, it's almost as bad as going from 60 to 30. Yeah, yeah. If we come across another next-gen mid-refresh PS5 Pro, will you be updating? Well, as a YouTuber, I kind of have to. Yeah, going down from 120 to 60 is nothing like going from 60 to 30. I agree with that. I remember when I got really used to 144 and I dropped down to a 60 game, I noticed it, but it was like, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was as jarring. Like the character animations and stuff and the combat and just the flow, it just all changes when you go down to 30. Mid-gen update, you can't even get the current ones? Well, it depends on when the mid-gen update happens. I don't think it's happening next month. What are my expectations for the PS5 Pro? My camera. What on earth? I would think maybe a bigger hard drive. A bigger hard drive, and I honestly couldn't tell you because it's a graphics and CPU combination that more readily can pull off maybe 4K 60. I just don't know. 4K 60 is so hard to pull off. Imagine trying to find a PS5 Pro. If you're only trying to get them in retail, I understand not being able to get a console, but I don't think it's that hard to get them anymore. I have 2 PS5s and a Series X. Get those alerts when it's on direct and just order them. You can't even find current gen consoles. What the F are you talking about, an update? Brian, I need you to calm down. You're being annoying now. We're answering you. I answered you. Nobody said that the mid-gen update's right around the corner. It's probably 1.5 to 2 years away. Calm the frick down. You sound like a tantrum-throwing child. Like, calm down. You can buy a PS5 right now. It should be getting easier to find, but it's not. They are easier to find. You can buy PlayStation 5s right now on direct. What are you talking about? They are easier to find. They are hitting the market more regularly right now. These are all true statements. You're just either not paying attention or you gave up. It's easier to get them now. It is. Yeah, Paul got one today. What's direct? PS5 Direct. You can get it right from the PlayStation 5 site. Eventually, I gave up and bought the Series X. Is the other half of the story who called me lazy. Oh my gosh. Everything's starting to make sense now. Everything is starting to make sense now. Your frustration, your irritation, your demeanor. I now fully understand. I understand you. I get it. I do. My man wanted a PS5. My man wanted a PS5 and he settled for a Series X. And he's mad about games not coming out and not really getting a lot of next-gen representation. Yep. That tracks. I would be just as aggravated as you are if I was sitting around with a Series X this generation. What am I eating? It was like a burrito bowl. Rice, pork, and rice, pork, cheese, a little bit of lime juice. Brian, you gotta calm down, man. You gotta calm down, bro. We had a great conversation earlier and we had a great debate. And you're going too far. I understand you're frustrated. You wanted a PS5, couldn't get one, and somebody called you indirectly. Somebody indirectly called you lazy. Somebody indirectly called you lazy. And it really made you mad. Because you took the money that you had and you spent it on an Xbox Series X. But nobody else is acting the way you're acting in chat. You have to have self-awareness enough to see that. Like, what he said about being lazy, it was indirect. It was indirect. It wasn't like a direct insult at you. You've completely gone way overboard. You've upped the entire ante. You've upped the entire ante and you're like cussing and you're going too far, bro. For what, scalper prices? You don't need to pay scalper prices. You don't need to pay scalper prices, my friend. Here, I'm just gonna time him out. Listen, bro. Listen. I'm giving you a shot. It doesn't feel deserved at this point, but I'm giving you a shot. But you need to sit in timeout because you're being super disruptive and you're clearly very angry about the situation. And I can't tolerate it anymore. So, you have to sit in timeout now. And I have to get on a call so that we can go to the next segment. Hang on. How do you turn on streamer mode? There it is. Enable streamer mode. Yo. Okay.
Hold on. I gotta turn on my other software on.
I have you at 100, and it feels like you're coming in quiet.
That's because I didn't do my actual stream voice yet.
Well, if that's the volume you're going to be at, I can increase you. That's fine. I'd rather have you be quiet and I raise you than the gainy thing we had the one time. All right, try now.
What's going on, guys? Third Still Gaming here.
That's better.
I told you I didn't put my streaming voice on.
Look how... I forgot. So I was doing a test last night with Creature with both cams. Look how narcissistic I look on stream. It's just me. It's just me for the show. I'm in both frames. What do you think about that, Lono? That was really smart of you to say, Lono. What a great show we're having here, Lono. It's just awful. Oh, okay. I fixed it. Whoops. Oh my gosh. You guys thought my narcissism was bad. That's tough.
Gonna interview. That's gonna sell well though. You interviewing yourself, talking about things. I think that'll go really well.
I don't think I would run out of things to say. You know,
you wouldn't also get a word in.
Matching T-shirts. What are the odds? Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah, look at us. Not me.
Look at us. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's funny. All right, I'm excited about this show.
Oh, I bet you are.
It's just gonna be a blast.
I'm walking into the Lion's Den. Everyone in chat already is like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about la la la. They don't even want to hear about Gotham Knights.
Actually,
it's gonna be a shit fest.
I do. So I'm pumped because you've gone so much farther in the game than I probably ever will. So I think it'll be good.
Did you get past the tutorial?
I played for 2 hours, bro. I don't even think you got past the tutorial. I couldn't do it, bro. I was like, can't do it.
Right now, you're the guy that was playing Cuphead. Like, you couldn't get past the tutorial. Like, you were like, yeah, this game's too hard. I'm done.
Yeah. Cuphead was so great until I got to the dragon, and he tilted me, and I never went back. Tilted me right up.
I got to... which one was it? The dice head, whatever his name was. Like, I got to the last part of doing... And I hated it because I did like 3 or 4 boss fights and then I died and then I had to do it again and I did it for like 3 hours straight and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I just stopped.
All right, let me hit the Discord. And guys, we are going to be doing a second stream, so we're going to give you a link and we're going to do redirect and all of that. Let me actually make sure I have redirect set up now that I'm saying that. Okay, I did. I set it up. The Reforge rundown. Gotham Knights.
John always says I look like I asked for this. Did I ask for this? I don't remember asking for this.
Asking for what?
I don't know. Who did this? I did this, or did Lono do this? I don't know what.
I've never done anything wrong. I'm innocent. Sorry, I'm reading from the wrong script.
Oh no, I knew I was at the end. I knew it was at the end. I just couldn't take it anymore. There's like 3 hours of just bashing my head up against the wall. I thought the game was great. I really like the enjoyment of Cuphead. I'm good. I'll just watch the credits on YouTube.
All right.
Can you switch the cameras in Discord, like flop them like where I am and where you are? Can you move them, or no, you can't move them once they're...
I don't think you can. You can do grid and then focus and it moves it, but it doesn't. Yeah, I've always wished I could pop you out by yourself.
Yeah.
And then pop out somebody else. So if somebody disconnects, you wouldn't move. I'd have you in your own camera frame, like or like you're saying, just be able to drag them around.
It's just weird because where I am in my Discord, the camera's over here, and I'd like to put you underneath the camera so when I'm talking, it looks like I'm, you know what I mean? It's a weird thing.
Oh, we were going to experiment with something. Is there a way for you to position your camera so that you're not looking at the camera?
Sure. Look, I'm looking at you right now. I'm not looking at the camera.
Because we were the reason that we had that second camera thing is we were considering we actually don't have the image set up for it. But we actually thought that like sometimes podcasts look better when you're not just sitting there Brady Bunch staring at the camera. And so,
all right, well, we'll try this. I'll look this way. So,
no, I need you.
Is this better for you? Is this better?
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. You have a great profile.
Yeah.
You need to be able to look at you need to be able to look at me so it feels like a conversation.
Yeah, no, I got you. That's why I was trying to. Don't worry about it. We're good. Yeah.
I don't know if I like it because I feel like I need to be on the other side. I would want it to look like we're looking at each other. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you're over on this side of my camera. Yeah, because I'm flipped as well.
Yeah, I would have to. I can't do it. We'll just roll with it the old-fashioned way. We'll roll with it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, Chad, I'm a homeless guy behind this microphone. My beard's pretty thick.
Yeah. It's massive.
You know, that's lazy. That's lazy.
All right, I'm going to put a link in chat, guys. We're going to redirect, all right? We're going to redirect to the next show. If you don't want to ride the redirect and you'd rather go there on your own, please click the link in chat. Do me a favor. It's super disruptive for me to beg for likes in general. It's even more disruptive for me to beg for likes during a podcast with another person. So please go over to the next stream and smash the heck out of the like button. There's 400 of you here right now most of you should be kind of coming over for the redirect. So click the link in chat or ride the redirect and come with us to the first ever episode of the Reforge Rundown. We've renamed it a little bit because of the format of the show is going to change, but I think it's going to be good. So give me like 4 seconds of silence and I'm going to start the new stream. Thanks so much for clicking on this. This is going to be the first ever episode of the Reforge Rundown, formerly the Reforge Roundtable. Ginger Prime got like a job and he couldn't make it anymore, and we thought maybe a two-man show that was more of a rundown of the week would be good. We will be always kicking off an episode of the Rundown with a lead topic, and today's lead topic is Gotham Knights. So if you've been looking for good reviews, thoughts, and deep dives into Gotham Knights, look no further. Mike has played the game significantly longer than me, so joined every week will be me and 30 and So Gaming kicking around the week. I'm going to end the previous stream and bring everybody over from the God of War Ragnarok stream. Thanks, everybody, for coming over. Make sure when you come over, you smash